About the venue. The cars are the stars, but hey. Mile an hour coming up. 163.9 Jason Hellcat, 137.7 Jake in that Viper. Let's not forget, unleaded 88 is the clean burning, high octane 15% ethanol blend that is engine smart and earth kind. Find unleaded 88 near you at getbiofuel.com. That being said, looks like we got a couple bikes coming up. ZX-10R. Mile an hour plays out. 159 Kent in the Cowie, 132 in the Aprilia. Love that drone footage. Tell us what you'd like to see in our chat function there. Big burnout there and a parachute. What do we have going on here? Looks like a plum crazy purple. Mopar got all the meats. Briar Madden Hellcat there, 1300 horse. Finished us a 178.4 yesterday. Jake Blaine in the Mustang, 850 horse, 177 best. Pretty close match here. Let's see how it plays out. It played out a little different than I would have thought. Briar coming up on the backside there, 172.5 Jake in that Mustang, 175.3. I wonder if it was a misshift. Wonder what happened. I don't know. Maybe they're not running the the unleaded 88 that they should. I'm not sure. We're going to find out though. That being said, Indy Airstrip Attack uses E85, a homegrown plant-based fuel. 85% ethanol, 15% gasoline. Look at the yellow flex fuel gas cap on your vehicle and fill it up today. Go to biofuel.com to learn more. Kelly in the RX-7 looks like he's going up against a Camaro. I don't have the information on my screen just yet on the Camaro. 600 horse, 800 in the RX-7. Good looking FD RX-7. Not sure what's in it. Just says 800 horse. Looks like it's working all of it. I'm going to go with that's LS swapped full show. Like that drone footage. Mile an hour coming up 168.3 for Kelly in that FDRX7, 138.9 gauge in that Camaro. So we got another Mustang on Mopar action coming up. Hope everyone's doing good at home. Brennan Doolittle in the Challenger, Scott Sheldon the GT500. Of course, if you're here live at the venue, make sure and stay hydrated. It's going to be a little warm later today. And if you're at home, you could probably stay hydrated a little differently. There, 750 horse. He was best yesterday at 153.6. Brennan Challenger, 485 horse. Don't have any mile an hour yet. Definitely cleaning up the backside there. Mile an hour coming up. 152.3 for Scott. 130.1 for Brennan in that Challenger. A couple more bikes coming up. John in the CBR 1000 RR RSP. That's a lot of R's. 200 horse, been a best of 165.9. Travis in the ZX 10R, 190 horse in that. So you got 190 horse against 200. Let's see how it plays. Jeffrey J. Hart and Revolution with all the great vids, all the views. Bike sounded all kinds of good. 168 for John in that CBR, 156.8 for Travis in that Ninja. Big shout out to 1320 Video, one of our favorite partners. Hopefully you're viewing on through their sites. Appreciate that. Got Scott McIntosh in the Audi R8, 600 horse. Brad Blankenship back in his S6 with 700 horse. Audi R8's been faster at 155.4, 146.9 for Brad previous. See if they can better that. Mile an hour coming up. 155.0 Scott, Audi R8, 142.5 Brad in that S6. Todd Nall, big Todd Nall back in the Porsche. Looks like an RC car with that GoPro hanging way off the back. Todd's always been a favorite. Generally speaking, well over 200 miles an hour consistently. Looks like he might have pulled out of it. I know he was having some gremlins yesterday, so hopefully he gets that squared away. I know that car, I've called it many times, well over 200. A couple Corvettes here. Not sure if that guy could see or not. Keith's got the camera rig. I'm not sure Christopher does in the backside there. Wide-bodied is Z06. Looks good, 700 horse, but I guess he wants to make sure he gets a view of whatever he's leading. Maybe he's got his own YouTube show. Keith Reynolds in the Z06, 149.9, 139.9, Christopher. Julian Bossler's Supra Dupra, and in one of his Lamborghinis, he brought 4 cars, of course, hanging out in the P&L Motorsports camp. Supra came out with an early lead there, and then around the outside, Lambo time. Don't be scared though. That Supra's bad fast. It was doing 170 plus yesterday. 171.4 today. 108. Looks like Julian got out of the big end. Now it's time for Julian's Nismo GTR collection. 159.9 for one. 146.6 for the other. Now you can fill up with the fuel that's great for your engine, great for the environment, and great for your wallet. Unleaded 88 is engine smart and earth kind. Find Unleaded 88 near you at getbiofuel.com. 117 for one Nismo, 131.6 for the other there. A couple more Corvettes. John Conway, Tim Garrett. Ketchup and mustard. Don't forget, E85 is high-octane, high-performance fuel, making it ideal for high-speed racing like what you're seeing today. It's also great for the environment, contributing up to 50% greenhouse gas reduction. Definitely choose E85 Flex Fuel today for a greener Indiana and world tomorrow. John Conway with a 147.7, Tim with a 151.1. Seth Moore in the Camaro, Andrew in the CTS-V. Apparently I read the wrong part of the screen. That's Bradley Connor in the M3 and John Van Alec in the 720S. I got ahead of myself. That's what happens when you race yourself. Something's up with that BMW. I'm not sure what, but he's definitely way on the slowdown. You're going to have to hold the track till he gets off. They're going super duper slow. Not sure what's up. John, though, made no mistake about it. He was going to rip a 175.9. Been pretty consistent in the 170s for John and that beautiful McLaren. Now, as soon as we get the track clear, we'll have Seth Moore in the Camaro and Andrew in the CTS-V. V's got 1,000 horsepower. 790 in that Camaro you see there. See Lakeland just making sure the track's clear. Of course, we have somebody down on the big end or finish line to make sure it is before we let the next batch of cars go. What a great drone footage from our Revolution team. V with the early launch. Camaro going to make up some ground, it looks like. Camaro 790 horse, V with 1,000. Definitely stretching its legs. Sound like the V got out of it pretty early too. 155.4 for the CTS-V. Seth in the Camaro with a 116.8. Up next, looks like I got a Lamborghini and a Mopar. Nikolai in the Charger Hellcat. Aldo in the Huracan. 1,200 horse in the Huracan. 707 in the Hellcat. Got that rear bumper off. Showed those turbos. You can see them right there. Can't miss them. After this race, we got one of the faster cars coming up. Can't wait to see that. Meantime, looks like it's going to be Nikolai in the Charger going around the outside of the twin-turbo Huracan. Aldo's out of it for sure. Maybe he thought he blew his rear bumper off. I'm not sure. 83 miles an hour. Barely broke the speed limit. A 144.8 Nikolai in the Charger. That's Nathan Sissio. He did a best of 226.2 yesterday in that beautiful Audi R8. Kurt in the Fairline next to him. What a gorgeous R8. I like the green with the wheels. Sounds like we're going to send somebody down, check things out. Definitely a gorgeous day out here, but it is definitely it's got a little breeze.
Hi, Elena Jetty here with Indiana Corn Marketing Council, and I am joined with Jason from Shift Sector. Jason, tell me a little bit about how has this race grown with the drivers using ethanol?
Well, it's incredible, actually. Shift Sector started 13 years ago. This is our 9th year racing here, and when we first started, a very small percentage of these race car drivers are using ethanol-based fuel as their race fuel, maybe like 10%, something like that. And over the course of, since we started with you guys, 7 to 9 years of this race, many years with you guys as a sponsor, and the education of our drivers about ethanol-based race fuel, like 60+% of our drivers are using ethanol-based race fuel now. So it's huge growth. It's great for Indiana, and it's great for the farmers in the corn industry.
Well, we're excited to get this weekend kicked off with our 9th Indy Airstrip Attack, brought to you by Indiana Corn Marketing Council and First Farmers Bank of Trust. So, Jason, we'll catch you again here soon. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Zach Moore pulled out a little early there in that ZL1. Chris Williams in the Austin Martin. That's a gorgeous car. Don't see a lot of those out here. 144.1 for Chris in that Austin Martin. 133.0 for the Camaro ZL1. Got a couple great interviews. Hopefully you enjoyed that at home. Philip Garrett, 2023 Corvette, 495 horse. Starting to see more and more C8 Corvettes showing up over the weekend. It's always good to see. I think they finally cracked the code. I know Vengeance Racing's been involved in that. Excited to see what they'll do with that. Now that we can tune, or they can tune those. That's the Shift Sector Taxi coming up right here. Sponsored, of course, by Indiana Corn Marketing Council. He is a student driver. Phillip with a 142.4 in that C8. Mark Bayless looking for anything over 180. I'm looking for him to go over 180 as well, because he said if he didn't, he was going to come up and give me a surprise. I don't want a surprise from Mark. Mark's a good friend. 149.9. He's been a best of 164.0 this weekend. David Freeman in the Roush Stage 3. Andrew in the Z06. Little Mustang on Corvette crime. Side by side right there. That's Freeman in that Roush Stage 3. Hanging on. Z06 was able to get around him. Mile an hour coming up for them. 146.2 to 158.5 for Andrew in the Z06. Dustin Bossy in the Ninja H2. Been a best of 188.6. Kent Scheckler in the ZX10R. 160.7. Good looking bikes here. That's called Gapplebees, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I know I got Yapplebees, but he just gave him the gap, that's for sure. Dustin with a 181.1. Kent with a 162 or 162.3 in the Cowie. Charles Morrell in a Hayabusa, 400 horse in that beast. Oh my goodness. Joel Morrell in the ZX14, 200 horse in that. I'd be scared to go up against either one of those guys in the rental car, just saying. Got the extended swing arm. And he's wearing boots. Killer boots, man. Busa with the early lead, little traction related issue. You can see him lighten the rear tire. Can hear the turbo whine all the way from here. Mile an hour coming up. 169.3 for the Busa, 163.8 for the ZX14. Now I got Tony Crandall in the Roush, Luke in the Ninja ZX14R. Bike with a quick, easy win, mile an hour there. Let's see what it is. 155.0 for the Ninja. 137.4 for the Roush. Ryan Hopkins Huracan did a best of 187.7 yesterday. Jake Blaine Mustang next to him. 1,300 horse in the Huracan. 850 in the Mustang. Mile an hour coming up for them. 175.5 for the Mustang. That was a nice surprise. Big mile an hour for only 850 horse. Hopkins with a 179.4. First Farmers Bank and Trust Corvette right there. Tyler McGinnity got the James Richardson Hellcat next to him. $165.0 James Hellcat, 124.7 for that First Farmers Bank and Trust Corvette. Doug Merritt in the Roush, Clint Shearer in that Viper. Clint went a 197.8. You know he's looking for 200 in that 1,500 horsepower Viper. Nice looking blue Roush Mustang. Check out that Viper though. I know Calvo's got some Vipers here, so hang on to your shorts when that comes out. To those that have been asking. Calvo usually gets a late start because he's had a late night. Ha! Just saying. Viper on the boil, mile an hour for Clint coming up. 194.4. Missed it by that much. Roush with a 134.6. Now I got Ron Vale, GT350 Kim in the Boss 304. Not sure what that means, but that's what it says on my screen. 440 horse up against 624 in the GT350. Definitely a red Mustang's going to win this race, undoubtedly. Mile an hour coming up for them. 122 for Ron, 102.1 for Kim. Rachel Sweet, here you go. 141 best. Scott Sheldon, GT500, 153. Best. Rachel looking pretty sweet. Rachel's been consistent all weekend long so far, starting yesterday. New setup for her. 140.5. I tell you what, she's getting it done. Scott with 150.55. Rachel's been multiple 140 mile an hour passes. John in the CBR 1000RR. Travis in the Ninja ZX10R. They're queued up. They're ready to go again. Vipers are in the pits, the snake pit as I like to call it. $168.6 for John. Travis with a 156.0. Maybe we can get Tiffany over there for an interview. I'm not sure if they're up and going yet. David Webster Challenger, Tony Reed Corvette. 680 in the Corvette, 600 in the Challenger. Corvette's definitely throwing down the bus legs. Mile an hour, 161 Tony in the Corvette. Dave in the Challenger Super Stock, 143.7. Now I got Jessica Hassing going up against Elena in the Super Dupra. Been 142.8. Jessica been a 207.6. Looking to reset that rear wheel drive. Half-mile record. Jessica, you got to start the race first. There she goes. All right. Jessica's on a pretty good run. Let's see what that mile an hour looks like for her. Elena's Supra with a 138.9. Jessica with a 205.1. CG Lantis in the G8 Pontiac, Gage in the Camaro, Pontiac's 850, 600 in the Camaro. Lambo's coming up after that. $171 for the G8 Camaro with a 138.0. Colin in the Lamborghini Huracan, 1400 horse. Aiden in the Aventador, 740 horse. I see a lot of Aventadors out. Beautiful cars. Sound good. Wait till you hear this. Ripped right around the outside. Definitely on a good run, good pass. What's that mile an hour going to look like? 199.2. Gotta like that. Almost 200. You get a free t-shirt, 200 mile an hour t-shirt at 200. Aiden with a 147.4 and that Aventador. Randy coming up in the RS V4. Ben Stone in the GT 500. So we got Randy Wedge in the RS V4, Ben Stone in that GT 500. It's a great view right there. Ben Stone got it done in that GT 500, 1,000 horse in that beast, 205 in the Aprilia. 166.8 for Ben, 155.3 for the Aprilia. Bad boy Morris Malone, here you go. This was 240 plus miles an hour yesterday. Your world's fastest Corvette in the half. Made a great pass there, mile an hour for him coming up. Bad boy Morris Malone, 241.2. That's his new best for the weekend. Gotta like that. 3,500 horse, getting it done. Love that. Morris is looking for a 245. That would take Send It Sal's Viper out at 244.6, which is the current rear-wheel drive record. He's right there. Think he'll get it done today? You better tune in and find out. Stay tuned. Brendan Doolittle, Challenger, Tony Williams, CTSV. 1,000 horsepower in the V, 175.99 best so far. Ripping it out there, throwing down some distance. Capital D. Those are more like semi-links. That was so bad. We had to wait for Brendan to get to the finish line. 130.0 for the Challenger CTSV mile an hour. Just waiting for it to pop up here on my screen. Hasn't just yet. Got the Hopkins collection. This is Fast Dolph McLaren Jeffrey in the Corvette next to him, 885 horse to 850 in the McLaren. Sounds like Jeffrey missed a little shift action. Something happened in the Corvette. 137.2. Hopkins Foundation Fast Dolph 173.1. Garrett Van Winkle. Oh, we got, so let's see what we have here. We've got doing something up in timing and scoring. That looks like Ron Moen from Vengeance Racing to me. Naturally aspirated beast, Ron Moen. I'm not sure what's going on with timing and scoring. I got conflicting things on my screen, so I apologize. I don't have a copy of, I can't see the leaderboards, so. I got John Kennedy in the Cobalt coming up, 500 horse, already been at 129.6. Peter in the E63S, been a best of 156.2 yesterday. Hope everybody's doing great at home. Don't forget you can find E85 near you at getbiofuel.com. Big shout out, of course, to 1320video.com. Got to check out all their merch lineup for 2023. I know they're getting ready for some new designs, and they have a few that are already out. You're going to want to take a look at that. 1320video.com. John Kennedy with 83.1, got out of it early. Peter with a 147.7. Nikolai in the Hellcat. Vladis in the Porsche Turbo S. 1,000 horse in the Turbo S. Nico's 8. I think he's about ready to get eaten, though, in that Porsche. We're going to find out. Nom nom. I think he might have turned the traction control off, just a guess. Porsche with the easy win, mile an hour coming up. 160.2 for the Porsche Turbo S. Nikolai 142.4. Greg Bunn ZX14R. Luke in the other ZX14R. Lots of R's on these bikes, but no reverse. An hour for them coming up. 173.2. Greg Luke with a 156.7. John Conway in the Corvette, 540 horse, already been a 147.7. Hugo Seguro was a 191 in the 1500 horse 16 Corvette next to him. Easy pass. That's what the plate says. With a pretty good run there. Mile an hour for them coming up. Got another fast Porsche, Kristen Doka coming up. Hugo with a 190.03. John in the other Corvette, 149.5. Now I got Kristen Doka in that Porsche Turbo S. Been a best of 206. Good looking car there. Making use of all of that airstrip. Definitely a fast pass. Foot stuck to the back of the headlight all the way through the traps. 202.7. Kristen in that Porsche Turbo S. Now I got big bad Michael Stout, fastest C7 Corvette in the world. Been a best of 210 yesterday. 2,000 Vengeance Racing horsepower. Dan Trickle. He's got his turn signal on. Hopefully he doesn't take a hard left, especially at 200. That looked like a good, clean, fast pass. Vengeance Racing Michael Stout. Mile an hour coming up. 213.27. Dan Trickle in the Camaro SS 181.0. Nicely done. Trevor Hutter Corvette. Cody Johnson Corvette. That's what you see pulling up there. Trevor and Cody there. Got through the traps. Atomic Orange. Trevor there, 179.7. Cody, 157.8. See Lakeland there doing some stretching. Imagine standing there. I bet your arms get tired doing that. I'll never know. Maybe I could be a grid girl. I don't know. Possibly. They probably don't want to see that, though. Brian Priest, that ZL1 Camaro with a parachute. Zach Elliott, Mustang GT. Cool Mustang on Camaro Prime. About ready to go down. ZL1's on a pretty good run there, mile an hour, 177.8, nicely done. Zach Elliott, 141.2. Mark Bayless, the Shift Sector Taxi right there, unleaded 88, Indiana Corn Marketing Council Flex Fuel Technology, see it right there. Unleaded 88, clean burning, high octane, lower cost fuels. Bayless, let's see what we got here. What's his mile an hour that time? 164.1. That's a new best for him this weekend. Ryan Doka in the Porsche Turbo S. Look at that beast. Christopher Ampersetti in the Audi RS3. Love the white wheels on that Porsche Turbo S. Making small work of that Audi. Comes now. Took a bit to get there. 180.00 for Ryan in that Porsche Turbo S. Audi RS3 with 440 horse. $138.00. Dustin Bossy, Kent Seckler, sorry about that, Kent. Just waiting for something to get viewed out here on the airstrip.
Hi everyone, Elena Jetty here with Indiana Corn Marketing Council. As the ethanol class sponsor here at the Indy Airstrip Attack, 4th live stream broadcast, I'm here with Casey Howarth with Underground Racing. And Casey, tell me a little bit about today's performance with the car behind me, your time, your fuel, and how did you make that happen?
Yeah, so the car owner's name is Tyler Mixon. This is his first build with us, and it's his first time driving this car, actually, with it modified by Underground Racing. He wanted to do a setup that would run really good on the street with ethanol. So we wanted to bring it out here on the half mile to really show people what you can do with ethanol, not just on the street, but on the racetrack, and just kind of show the full potential of what the fuel can do.
Could you elaborate a little bit about what the fuel can do? I know it helps the engine burn cooler. It obviously has got the octane. How do you, and is there an opportunity to have you run with more cars in the ethanol class?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We actually are working on building some more right now that are going to be running the ethanol class. It's definitely become a very popular fuel to run, especially with availability. It's getting more widespread throughout the U.S. And again, you know, we came out here and he was the fastest today at 243 today was his fastest, which was the fastest of the day. So it goes to show that you can do a lot with ethanol for sure.
Awesome. I love that. You can do a lot with ethanol. And as a home state for Indiana, we produce over 1.4 billion gallons a year just in our state alone. So we appreciate your support with underground racing, and we look forward to seeing more of your high octane performance this weekend. So thank you so much.
Thanks. Keep making it. We'll keep burning it up.
We will keep making it, and you guys keep burning it up for sure. Thank you so much, Casey.
Thank you. See ya.
The radio guy, I don't have time to deal with it. Can somebody figure that out? All right, looks like we got some debris on the track. I think somebody lost their phone maybe. I don't know if they were texting and racing or if it was used for video. Not sure. Maybe part of their draggy setup. Either way, we're trying to find that, and that's what has been a little bit of the delay. So enjoy, obviously, some of these amazing interviews conducted, of course, by Alina from the Indiana Corn Marketing Council. Appreciate all those. Big shout out to 1320 Video. They're syndicating our live feed on their Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully you're watching it through them. Make sure and stop by 1320video.com, see their fresh merch lineup for 2023, including their top-selling Summer Boost t-shirts, along with 200 other items. 1320 Video has been supporting Airstrip Attack events for over 9 years through their media. This is our 9th year doing the Indy Airstrip Attack. This year, 65% of the drivers are running ethanol. That's right, 65%. When we started, that number was only 10. Nice little wheelie off the line there. Dustin in the Ninja, Kent in the Ninja ZX-10R. Mile an hour for them coming up. Great to be back to some racing out here in beautiful Marion, Indiana. 181.8 Dustin Kent with a 158.1. Oh, what do we have here? Why, that looks like AZ Cycle Parts. That was your second fastest pass yesterday. 5th time the man has driven the car. That's Mark from AZ Cycle Parts. UGR in the house. Look at that beast. Alerted fire and tow. Could be a really fast pass. 2:42.07 last pass. It looks like he's on the boil there. Mark is getting it done. AZ Cycle Parts mile an hour coming up. 242.59 new best for Mark. Woo! Gotta like that. That'll get your blood going on a Saturday morning. UGR, who also owns the half-mile record at 259.99. That's only the 6th or 7th time Mark from AZ Cycle Parts has actually driven that car. Pretty impressive. David Freeman coming up, 2020 Roush. Jake Bolinex in that Viper. 400 horse in the Viper, 675 in the Mustang. $139.5 for Jake and the Viper. David with 136.4. I got Andrew Wydell in that Z06. Riley Hawk in that Viper. Viper 1,400 horsepower claim. Don't have a mile an hour yet, but we're about ready to. He's got the drag radials. Oddly enough, drag radials don't work as great on an airstrip as you would think. He's been able to make these work. Got out of it real early. I'm not sure why. It looked a really good run to me. Riley in the Viper. 170.2. Andrew Wydell, 155.8. Got Scott Sheldon and Aldo in the Lamborghini Huracan next to him. Not sure what happened there. Sounds like Aldo's having some issues. 150.3 for Scott. Aldo with a 169.4. Joe Morrell, ZX14, Hayabusa. Charles, see it right there. Beautiful shot there. The sun's kind of making its way back out. Lots of fast bikes out here this weekend. Hayabusa definitely got the turbo. A little slow that pass, but I'm sure he'll be back for more. 164.5, Joel. Kenneth in the Audi R8. Stephen Ulrich in that ZL1. Just joining us, welcome to the fastest race in Indiana. I said what I said. Got Kenneth right there ripping through the traps. 203.07, 1200 horse in that Audi R8. Steven coming up on mile an hour, waiting for that. 144.6. Now I got Julian Bassler and Sarah Bolin, Mustang GT. Julian 1700 horse, been over 200 miles an hour in that one. Motorsports camp brought quite a host of cars. $175.5 for that run for Julian. 148.3 Sarah in the Mustang GT. Doug Merritt coming up in that Roush, 750 horse, been a best of 134.6. Tony in his Roush, been a best of 137, but 729 horse in them. Takes a lot of horsepower to get those the Mustangs on the big end. I'm not sure if it's just all the front air opening or what, but I've noticed it takes a lot more horsepower on the half-mile stuff for them to get a big mile an hour. I think it's just a large frontal open area is my guess, but I'm not an aerodynamic person. 141.1 Doug. Tony with a 135.7. Julian Bassler, Connor Tomlinson, the Mustangs. 800 horse against 700. So one other thing that we have going on here live throughout the day is we actually have a formatted competition, and it's kind of cool. So they're divided by class. We have ethanol class, obviously. We've got rear-wheel drive. We've got all-wheel drive, and those classes basically fall like this. You've got to make your run. They take the top 4 from the first part of the day, I believe, until noon, and then there's a runoff, and that's the semifinals, and then we go to the finals from each class. So that's happening as we do this as well. Pretty cool setup. There's actually a points trophy as well. It looks like I've got a pretty high horsepower Viper right here. Tommy Lucas, 1800 horse. Got out of it a little bit early there, unsure. Probably just a little test pass. 1800 horse, I'd want to make a test pass as well. Next up, I got Dave Webster, the Challenger. Tony Reed in the Corvette. That's that Z06C5. Been a best of 164.4. Julian Bossler back. Got the First Farmers Bank and Trust. You see it right there, that beautiful Corvette. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Love having their support out here. It's Tyler McGinnity and Julian Bossler. Yeah, so throughout this whole day and weekend, we have like a points battle and whatnot, and then there's trophies every day. So that's a lot of fun. So I'll keep you a little more posted on what's going on there. We got Kelly and that RX-7, 168.3 best. Got to be LS powered, I'm pretty sure by the sound of it. Jason Burrow and the Hellcat, 730 horse. Kelly with what appeared to be a pretty good run there. Mile an hour coming up. 172.9. Jason. Not sure if his mile an hour didn't pop up on my screen. I got Nikolai back. Gets Julian Bossler. Bossler Lamborghini, 640 horse, mile an hour coming up, 140.6. Nikolai with a 142.9. Mirza and the Audi RS8, beautiful car. I haven't seen one that color yet. 1,300 horse, no mile an hour yet. Can't wait to see it though. Looks like the Audi slow go, not sure what's up. Definitely kind of crept through the traps there. Hopefully everything's okay. Fast Dolphin, that Audi R8, 1,500 horse, been a best of 203.9. Up against Zach Elliott's Mustang GT, 460 horse. Zach, of course, from the Hopkins Foundation. Fast Dolph is definitely doing Fast Dolph things. Looked like a really good run for him. $196.0 for Fast Dolph and the Hopkins Foundation car. Zach Elliott, 140.8. Kevin Dickey in the GT 500, 750 horse. I believe it has more than that. 174.2. Brennan Challenger, 485 horse. He's got his work cut out for him. That GT 500 looks good. I do believe the GT 500 is sandbagging his horsepower announcement. Just an FYI, it takes about 1,000 horse to go in a Mustang to go as fast as Kevin Dickey is, so 171.3. Brennan Doolittle in the Challenger next to him. We got Fast Dolph and the McLaren 720S coming back. Jake Blaine Mustang GT. One of the Hopkins Foundation beautiful vehicles. McLaren. Wesley Sanders, BMW 335i, Hunter Sumner, Mustang GT. Looks like we might be on a track hold. I'm not sure if it's timing related. Probably something simple. And now we're hot, just like that. That's how quick things get fixed around here. I think we had an update we had to chime through. Great footage by our good friends at revolution.com. Produced and, of course, directed by none other than jeffreyjhart.com. Jennifer Harper, 5th Gen. You see it right there. 750 horse. Yesterday, best 157.6. Kit Seckler in that ZX-10R next to 5th Gen. Andrew in the CTSV. Don't have information on the other car. Andrews I do. 1,000 horse, but a best of 155. That was Cody Johnson. That's who that was at the Corvette. 158.1. Jeremy Howell, GT350R. Matthew Moberly right there in the red eye Hellcat. All the wing, none of the traction. The thing's on the move, though. Looked like a good pass. That thing was fighting for all of it. Mile an hour coming up. Look at that. Jeremy with a 199.73 miles an hour in the GT350R. Woo! Matthew Moberly, Hellcat, 144.5. David Briggs, Porsche Turbo S, coming up 1,400 horse. This car never disappoints. Always fast. Got another fast pass coming right now. David Briggs with a 203.8. Now we got Tyler Mixon, AZ Cycle Parts UGR Camp, 2021 Lambo, fastest car yesterday. You see it right there, can't miss it. It was 243.51. It is the fastest car of the weekend so far. Look at that gorgeous Lamborghini STO. What's he going to do this time around? That's only the 4th or 5th time Tyler has ever driven or seen the car. First time today. You get to see it right here. Yeah, John Reed tuning. UGR horsepower. Looks like he got out of it early. Saw a little spinning. Still sounds amazing, looks amazing. Look at that beast. Looks like he might have got into it a little early and had some traction-related issues. We know he'll be back. No doubt of that. Love having AZ Cycle Parts here. This Camaro, I think, is 1,000 horse, actually 1,030 for Scott here. Greg Bunton in the ZX14R, 200 horse next to him. We're just making sure the Lamborghini is off the track before we let these eat. Scott in the Camaro, mile an hour coming up. Greg Bunn, same thing. On the screen, there it is. 175.2, Scott, 173. So the car beat the bike. Julian in his faster of the two Lamborghinis. It's a good problem to have. You got a slow Lambo and a fast one. Okay, I like it. 199.7. He's been over 200, so it's getting there. Nikolai in the Charger Hellcat, Zach Moore in the ZL1. Side by side, I tell you, if you're joining us live at home or work or whatever, appreciate you being on our live stream. Indiana Corn Marketing Council, E85, Unleaded 88. Those are our broadcast sponsors. 1320 Video, broadcast streaming partner, of course. Revolution Shift Sector are our event hosts, along with Indiana Corn Marketing Council. So appreciate them. Got Ryan Hopkins here. Aiden O'Neill in the McLaren 720S. Got a Calvo Viper coming up after that, it looks like. Got the Bad Apple 3,300 horse Calvo Viper coming up, just finishing up here. Ryan Hopkins 187.9, Aiden with a 156.5. In the house now, Calvo in the Bad Apple 3,300 horse. Is he going to make use of all of them or some of them? We're going to find out. Fast to me, bad fast, mile an hour for Bad Apple Viper coming up. 222 miles an hour right off the trailer hit for Bad Apple. Calvo Motorsports in the house. Got the Shift Sector Taxi making its way around. Indiana Corn Marketing Council. Gonna line it up right there. So we got the Indiana Corn Marketing Council Shift Sector Taxi. Alina right there with the arm drop. And it looks as though something happened to the Shift Sector Taxi. We're going to have to get that looked at right away. Something went bang. I'm not sure what, but I see a lot of smoke. It does look like he left a pretty good trail there. It's not. You need to check the track. All right, so we're going to have to get that looked at. Obviously, there's something up there. Shift Sector Taxi has taxied out for the day, it looks as though. Hopefully everything's all right. Going to get that...
Okay, so we are back with Jason, owner of Shift Sector here at the Indy Airstrip Attack. Jason, we just saw a fast car go by. Tell us a little bit about what you just saw.
So a few years ago, we started the ethanol class. And the ethanol class basically is the race fuel that you're using has to have just a blend of ethanol in it, right? So over the last 3 years since this class started, we've been noticing cars getting faster in that class naturally because ethanol-based fuel is a very potent fuel for race cars. And today here at the 2023 Indy Airstrip Attack, the fastest car on our Friday race day was in the ethanol class. It was an underground racing twin-turbo Lamborghini, went 243.5 miles per hour in the standing half mile.
Wow, that is super fast. What's the time? What do you think someone could beat that, or what are the expectations this weekend?
Well, I mean, just to sort of give you an idea of the competition that he was up against one of the fastest cars in the underground racing camp. It's a silver, huge STO build. And that car went 242, and he beat it on his last pass of the day, went 243.5. And also, we've got Malone out here, who has been second in the world record class of two-wheel drive. He went 240 miles per hour twice today, and he could. And this ethanol-based car beat both of them. So I mean, he beat the toughest competition out here so far today. We've got 2 more days of racing, so we'll see what happens.
I can't wait. Stay tuned.
All right, we're back at it here. Keith Richards, Z06, Andrew Wydell in that Z06. 600 claimed horsepower against 620. Great to see Indiana Corn Marketing Council's very own Alina out there with the arm drop. All fancy. Love the hat, Alina. Mile an hour coming up for these two. Lots of cars stacked up in pre-grid, ready to go. It's going to be another great day of racing out here in beautiful Marion, Indiana. Keith with a 151.6, Andrew 155.3. First word that I've got is the Shift Sector taxi lost its transmission. Not surprised, all that ethanol making all that power. Gonna need a better transmission, Mark. I think he kind of knew that. He was fearful of that happening. Make a lot more power with E85 and ethanol fuels for sure. Pretty fast Viper there. Shows up on my screen a little differently, so I just will go with what I see. You can see the wind wisping at those flags. Indiana Corn Marketing Council C7 Corvette right there. Beautiful car. It's Josh Miller, Tony Crandall in the Roush. Josh Miller there in the Indiana Corn Marketing Council Corvette 132.9. Tony Crandall 133.6. Sean in the Porsche Turbo 1100 horse, been a best of 189.8 so far. See it right there. That's not an antenna, that's camera. Sometimes they fly off at high rates of speed, you never know. Great run for him again. Mile an hour coming up. .03 miles an hour. Nick Thatcher, Mustang. David Webster, Challenger right there. I'm not sure why they have some of these entered incorrectly. We're going to have to get that fixed. That's Riley Hawk in the Viper. 1400 horse, been a best of 170. The outside of that Challenger Super Stock pretty easily. Heavy Mopar and Mopar. He keeps getting out of it though before the traps. I'm not sure what if he's sneaking up on it or what he's doing. Riley in that Viper, the thing looks good too. Mile an hour coming up for them. 183.6. So he just gained 13 miles an hour and still was way out of the loud pedal. Webster with a 141.6. Peter in the Mercedes. Chris in the Aston Martin Vantage. 600 horse, been a best of 144.1. Peter in the Mercedes, a little faster, 156.2. Mile an hour coming up. Peter with in the AMG with a 147.9. Chris in the Aston Martin. A mile an hour, for some reason, it's not popping up as quickly as I would like. 140.0. Mandy King, Kent Seckler, bikes. Here you go. Yikes for the bikes. Through the traps they go. Mile an hour coming up for them. Mandy with a 133.8. Kent 155.5. Christopher in the Z06. Brendan Doolittle in the Challenger next to him. See if the Z06 stays in it. In it to Schwinn it. Side by side, making a pass around the outside. Here he goes. Threw a bus length on him at the end. Mile an hour coming up. The wind's playing game on my timing here. 138.8. Brennan with a 128.5. Glenn Griffiths here in the Jaguar F-Pace, yesterday best 116.9. Took him a few minutes to get to the finish line, but we are going to definitely enjoy that view from our good friends at Revolution.com. Only Jaguar out here this weekend. 92 miles an hour that time. Garrett Van Winkle Charger, Matthew Moberly Challenger, Hellcat Red Eye. That's definitely a tongue twister. That's the beautiful Lakeland, our arm drop, communicating with the finish line, timing and scoring. Cars don't go unless our grid girls say so. And she said so. Every race here at Shift Sector, at these airstrip attacks, are arm drop based. Every single one of them, including the world record runs. Mile an hour, Garrett looked pretty good to me. Went around the outside there. 175.3, 143.9 for Matthew. Nikolai in the Charger Hellcat. Patrick Kennedy in that M5 competition. Looks like he took the wing back off on the M5. Use the drag, try to get some more mile an hour out of that beast. doing some transmission-related stuff yesterday. Glad to see it's back out. Pretty cool car. 900 horse. 720, I guess. Maybe he took a few horsepower out. I'm not sure. Yesterday, I swear that thing had 900. Either way, mile an hour 142 for Nikolai. Patrick 166. Gage Kaplan or Chapin in the Camaro. John Conway in the Corvette. Both in the trapping in the 140s.
Yeah.
139.4 that time around. 143.0 for John. Bassler's GTR Nismos. Beautiful cars right there. That's from the P&L Motorsports camp. What kind of mile an hour they get there. Another Mustang staging up. $24.9 for Zach Moore. Camaro on Mustang. The best 147.9 Hunter Mustang. Zach with a 172. 142.4 Hunter Mustang. Zach 168.4. Sean Goodyear right there. Velatus in the Porsche Turbo S. Bit of 160 to Sean's 164 in the Mercedes. German car action. Should probably get a drone shot. Place is pretty packed. A lot of people here. A lot of people watching live on our syndicated partners, 1320video.com and Twitch and whatnot. So I appreciate everybody chiming in, watching. Some half-mile racing. I say the best half-mile racing out there. Sean Goodyear with a 149.6. Velatus 163. It's Clint in the Viper. Unsure who is in the other lane. Don't have that info in front of me. Clint's going to get it done. Finally go 200. I know he was wanting to. Tipping at 197, 194. What did he do this time? 194.8. That was Stephen Ulrich in the ZL1 with a 141.3. We got Mike Morris. Look at this Malibu. He's a local guy. Wounded Warrior Projects, I think, was part of this. Pretty cool deal. 1,300 horse. Good pass there. Look at that GT350. There's Barry Malone next to him with a 159.6. Mike with a 159.9. He actually got a higher mile an hour in the Malibu. Briar Madden, though, Ron Vale, the Shelby GT350. Briar in the Hellcat. With the early lead there, mile an hour, 1,300 horse. horse, 175.8. Ron with 624. Here. It's not pulling up on my screen. I got Travis Boaz. 156.8 best. Ron in the CBR 1000 RR. Crosswind for them. Probably not nearly as much fun with that crosswind. 164.3 John, Travis 157.4 Joel, Morel, ZX14 Charles in the Busa. Swing arm so far back on the Busa, it looks like it's in another zip code. Got a good treat coming up, hopefully next, right after these two bikes. I got the General Lee Viper, Jaddy Gill, Calvo Motorsports, Bill. There it is right there. Charles Busa, 178. Joel, 165. Jaddy, here we go, 2,600 horse. Sure if he's just doing a little Sunday drive on Saturday or what. Here he comes. Got it a little later. Not sure what that mile an hour will show. The thing's still accelerated like crazy. 204.6 right off the trailer. Not too shabba-doo, must say so myself. Calvo Motorsports in the house. Sean Trimarco in this 1,000 horsepower Mustang's only been able to get a 113.09 out of it so far. Looks like he's on a much better pass this time around. That looked good for him. Mile an hour coming up here. 161.5. Love seeing a Fox body over the 150 mark. That's great. Tony Crandall, Roush, 729 horse. Jeff Barton, Corvette, 1,050. Jeff with a 176.6 Tony in the Roush. Making his way through the traps. The wind's definitely picking up out here in Marion, Indiana, so a little delay on my mile an hour and my screen. Juan Fernandez, Porsche Turbo, 1,500 horse, Julian Bassler Lambo. Comes that Porsche all the way around there. Juan Fernandez, 143.9 Julian, 197.7 for Juan Fernandez. Peter in the E63S, AMG Kim in the Boss Mustang. Been a best of 102 Kim, 156.2 for Peter. Peter Pumpkin Eater. For that mile an hour. Peter with a 148.0, Kim in the Mustang, just sneaking through the traps there. Dave Webster Challenger Superstock, Russell Hess in that Nova SS. Russell's been faster than the Challenger. Oh, the red, white, blue shoot looks good on camera. I bet that was fun. Look at that. Gotta love the red, white, blue out here in Marion, Indiana. 142.9 Dave Webster, 151.0 for that Nova. Tony Janko, GT350. The Indiana Corn Marketing Council serves Indiana corn farmers with help that help create demand and broaden the markets, opening opportunities down the road and across the globe for Indiana's corn farmers. Love having the Indiana Corn Marketing Council part of our broadcast. The biggest part, it's Mandy King right there, Randy Wedge in the Aprilia RS V4. Randy with a 155.2, Mandy with a 132.3. That is kind of a tongue twister. Josh Miller coming up in the Corvette. Brennan Doolittle. That's the Indiana Corn Marketing Council Corvette. Super cool guy. I got a chance to actually meet him yesterday. So appreciate that. Looks like we got a couple more fast cars. Josh in that Indiana Corn Marketing Council Corvette 133.0. Brennan in a 129.3 next to him. Sijin in the Lamborghini coming up. Benabessa 221.8. John Vanalik in the McLaren 177.6 best so far. Lots of activity down there. Sujin, part of the Dallas Performance Camp, I believe. Looks like he's on a pretty good run. Just the Lamborghini is faster this pass. Got out of it right before the flag, so I don't know what that's going to do to the mile an hour. Well, there you go, 186.7. 177.8, not sure why he let out. Could have been traffic, my goodness. Probably no traffic. Could have been traction, though. John Conway in the Corvette, Doug Merritt in the Mustang Roush. That's what you see right there. It's the first Farmers Bank and Trust Corvette. Shout outs I definitely want to give right away. Global Time Attack carrying our live feed. Appreciate them every year, their support. Jason, of course, over there. Just a really good guy at Global Time Attack. Always put on a great show, great broadcasts. We're going to be on Twitch. I believe we might already be on Twitch. We're going to be having basically a Twitch Power Hour coming up, though, so you're not going to want to miss that. I'll make sure and have plenty of announcement on that, but appreciate everybody joining us out here. Beautiful Marion, Indiana at the Indy Airstrip attack. We're just looking right here for the next, I know that's the Jaguar F-Pace, but it does not show up on my screen, but I know what it is, so that's what it is. Probably ripping another 100-mile-an-hour super SUV pass. Not sure. Definitely smell that beautiful E85 fuel, as as they go by. It smells so good. Got John in the CBR, Travis in the Cowie. Both have been fast, both 157 for the Cowie, 168 for the CBR. Great shot right there of the RR. Had to do it. I only get 3 of those a day. A little power wheelie there. Mile an hour coming up for them. Drone footage here. 168 too. John in the Honda. Travis with a 155 too. See the Indiana Corn Market.
I'm here with Jessica.
It was good. My husband told me it should do about a 180. We did a 205. So I'm not quite sure where he was thinking that the tune was at, but we weren't wanting to go 200 off the trailer, but that's the way the day goes. So hopefully we'll keep progressing. Our best was 207 yesterday, so we're not far off now.
That's incredible. And how long have you been racing?
This is my second Airstrip attack as a driver. This is probably the 6th one I've been to between hanging out with just friends in Colorado. I used to go to the one in Colorado. And then I worked with Shift Sector and the live stream team a couple years ago in Colorado at one of the last events they did down there. So it's always been a dream to run a car here and to be able to do this. And my husband had a drag car, had some goals himself, and he was like, but after we can build a car and then you can go 200. So we did 200 last year for the first time. I was in a boot. I had just sprained my ankle severely. And doctor was like, yeah, as long as you wear your boot, I don't mind you racing. And I'm like, oh, thank God, I've waited so long. And so for us to achieve 203 like that was a big deal. And this year it was like, didn't really know what set goals at. I have really big goals of 230, but the car may not perform that well this year. We'll see. The headwind is killing us. We definitely think that drastically affected our stuff yesterday, so we'll see what happens.
Well, you're doing awesome. It's so great to see women in this sport. We need more of them. So, all right, good luck to you the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we're back at it here. Anthony Rodman. Mustangs. $180 for Jared. Anthony in the GT350R. Don't have that mile an hour popping up on my screen. There it is, 179.2. Pretty close race there. David Freeman, Jason Burrow, and the Hellcat. Mustang Roush, Burrow and the Hellcat there. Opening up the Aventador back. 162.8 Jason, Hellcat 145 for the Mustang. Aiden O'Neill in the Aventador. Kurt fairly fun, interesting race. sound of those Aventadors. Woo! 145.9 for Kurt in the Fairlane. We're still downshifting and going through all the gears in the Aventador. I think I would too. The way those things sound. 148.6 for the Aventador. Matthew Ober Mustang, Ron Vale GT350 Mustang. 630 horse each. Looks like we switched out our grid girl. That is Lena with the arm drop. Matthew with a 141.6 and that Mustang Ron Vale in that GT350. Just waiting for the mile an hour. Meantime, I got Clark Rosenthal and Zach Elliott. We are live on Twitch. Shout out to everybody here. Welcome to the fastest race in Indiana. Outside. Twitch Power Hour, here we go. Great start to that. Clark with a full ripper. He's been over 200 before. What's that mile an hour going to look like? 216.03. Clark with a full-on Twitch ripper. Zach Elliott 140.8. Tony Crandall coming up the Rouge. Don't have information yet on the other side there. Great drone footage by our team at Revolution.com. Probably heard that Aventador that just ran going through the gears in the pits. Why wouldn't you? All I've got is Tony Crandall in the Roush. There's Patrick Kennedy in the M5, 166 miles an hour. Not bad. Tony Crandall, I'm not sure why the mile an hour is showing up a little slower on my screen than usual, but it is. I got Thomas Riddle in the Lamborghini Urus. Yesterday, best 173.6. John Vinalik in the 720S McLaren. Both from the Hopkins Foundation. Cool to see a Urus out here. Only one that I've actually ever called, and I've been doing this for 10 years. 175.1 for John in the McLaren, though. 135.7 for Thomas in the Urus. Lambo SUV. Randy in the RSV. Cody in the Corvette. Somewhere in the internet world. I'm not sure where it is. 155.9. Cody with 152.4. Jeremy Howell. The GT350R, 199.7 best so far. He is on a boil right now. Making all that wing work for him very good. Kim waiting somewhere on Kim's still on the track. But Jeremy's not. 196.51 that time for the GT350R. Nicely done Kim just sneaking through the traps right now at a 105. Mark Blackwell, another UGR Lambo, beautiful car right here. Mark was the best at 205 and change yesterday. I think he's looking for 210. I think was his goal. I was talking to him yesterday. Him and his amazing wife out here. Shout out to the Blackwells. Lena with the arm drop. Looks like Mark got out of it a little early, unsure why. Big shout out to 1320 Video and Global Time Attack. Appreciate them. Of course. Got Brennan Doolittle in the Challenger. Brendan Doolittle there in the Challenger, Craig Kaiser in the Shelby. 129.3 Craig with the Mustang, Shelby 148.3. Julian Bassler, Supra Duper and Nismo right there. Big shout out 1320 Video and Global Time Attack GTA. My good friend Jason over there. Appreciate all the support. We're on our Twitch Power Hour as well, so welcome everyone joining us. Gets it done, mid-track on, 157.1 for the Nismo. Supra coming up. You're watching us live out here at the Indy Airstrip Attack. Catching us on Twitch, 1320 Video. You're watching on Global Time Attack GTA. We will be live out there November 10th. Revolution and Team, probably directed as always by JeffreyJHart.com. Definitely want to check us out there. Love my Global Time Attack partners. A good Indiana Corn Marketing Council, bringing all the ethanol and the Jaguar F-Pace right there. One of a few SUVs that are out here having a good time. Getting a little windy. Jaguar, it's not actually fighting for traction, it's just getting a little windy. Unless they put, you know, a nitrous kit and up the ethanol content, it's hard to say. Well, another beautiful blue Mustang here. Got a Camaro kind of lined up. My timing and scoring is a little so apologize for that. I'm going to have to do it old school style, look at the screen monitor and figure it out from there. Does appear to be Steven Ulrich in the ZL1 Camaro. .924 horse in that beast. Mile an hour coming up for him. 158.0. Doug Merritt, though, in the Roush was a 140.1. We got John in that beautiful CBR 1000RR. Now, I'm not sure if Global Time Attack allows bikes, but, you know, maybe they could, maybe they should. I don't know. But GTA, Global Time Attack, great venue. Going to be out there live November 10th. Not going to want to miss that. John and the CBR 1000RR, one side there, 200 horse in that beast. .167.7. Travis in the Ninja next to him, 156. Now we got Colin and the Lamborghini Huracan, 1400 horse, been a best of 199. Was on a good flyer there last time. Julian Bassler's 640 horse Lambo. I say that because Julian has a couple Lamborghinis here. It's a great problem to have. Take the fast one, take the slow one, take it whatever you want to do.
You did? Okay.
Colin's on a good run there. Mile an hour coming up. Did he go over 200 is the question. I know he wants to. I know it's right there. There it is. 201.07 for Colin. He's going to be happy about that. Julian next to him. Looks like he ripped off a 147.4. Jake Blaine Mustang. Trevor Ziffer GT500 Mustang. 850 horse against 700. Definitely getting a little breezy out here. It's Armando Perez in the M5, Kurt in that fair lane. With a 142.8 in the M5, Kurt 127.7. Aiden O'Neill in that Aventador, beautiful sounding car. Rachel Sweet in that GT350. She's been doing a great job all weekend in the 140s. Hard to beat the sweet sound of that Aventador. Woo! .157.2 for the Lambo. Rachel with a 140.0, real consistent. David, I don't have information on that bike. We got information on the Roush. That's David Freeman. It's Greg Bunn that went through the traps on the Ninja at 170.9. Freeman coming up here on that mile an hour. Hope everybody's doing good. Joining us on Twitch. Brought to you, of course, by Global Time Attack. Big shout out to the Indiana Corn Marketing Council. It's Bradley Connor right there in that M3. I know that's the FD-RX-7 on the other side. I just don't, for whatever reason, there it is. Kelly Esser in the RX-7. 176.3 for Kelly in the RX-7. Bradley in the M3 coming up. Bradley, the M3 with a 136.7. Josh with a GT500 Thomas Riddle and Lamborghini Urus. And the Aventador wants to just rev his motor all the way through our live stream, so that's super cool. I love hearing it, actually. Hopefully you can hear that at home. Josh with a 150 in the GT500, Thomas Riddle in that Urus with a 138.0. Julian Basler, Nismo, Mirza in the Audi R8, 1300 horse. Got out of it before the flags too, Mirza did. Let's see how it all plays out. 172.5 for the Audi, letting off early. We got AZ Cycle Parts coming back for some more UGR underground racing. Tyler Mixon, that beautiful green STO you see on your screen. Fastest mile an hour of the event so far at 143.5. AZ Cycle Parts, underground racing back in the house. What are they going to do? He is definitely in it. That's going to be a fast pass. What does that mile an hour look like? 246 miles an hour, new fastest mile an hour of the event. Tyler Mixon getting it done. AZ Cycle Parts, underground racing in the house. 246.04 miles an hour. What do you think about that? 246.04 miles an hour for AZ Cycle Parts. Right now on track, though, Cody Johnson, Tony Crandall, Ford Mustang, Roush, and a Corvette. Cody with a 156.5. Tony in the Roush coming up. Everybody went crazy here live with that 246 mile an hour run. That's sneaking up on the world record again. That's Josh Miller, Indiana Corn Marketing Council, and the red Corvette there. Smoking that Mustang. Probably got that beautiful E85 corn fuel in it. Josh Miller in the Indiana Corn Marketing Council Corvette, the 132.5. Randy in the RSV4. I'm not sure that that's Garrett. Hang on a second here. We've got all kinds of craziness going on. I'm going to radio to Tower here in a minute. We got that beautiful Bentley Continental GT coming back. Marisol going up against the AMG GTC. That C stands for Cabriolet. Chad Buchanan's. Chad with a 148.2. Marisol with a 135.8. Beautiful footage of our venue here. Brendan Doolittle on one side, Pete Tamaris on the other with the Corvette. $129.3, Brennan. Pete with a 165 in that Corvette. Got great drone footage here. Got the Indiana Corn Marketing Council, Glenn Griffiths, Jaguar F-Pace. Got Joseph Santo coming up here. This Porsche is bad fast. 2,000 horsepower, no mile an hour just yet. It's got a parachute for a reason though, so hang on to your shorts. Here we go. No doubt that's fast. Foot stuck to the back of the headlight all the way through the flags. 211.57 miles an hour. I believe that makes it our fastest Porsche of the event so far. That's not bad. First hit right off the trailer. James Richardson coming back in the Hellcat Red Eye. Doug Merritt in the Roush. Both have 750 horse. One's been 141. One's been 165. Richard in the Hellcat 165. Vantage point from our drone footage. Obviously, we're on an active airstrip, which means we will be and have been taxiing airplanes, landing and taking off. Pretty unique situation. 161.5 for James in the Hellcat. Doug with a 139.2. Paul with an RS6, 650 horse, been a best of 145. Peter in the E63S, been a best of 156.2. Audi RS6 141.9, 146.0 for the AMG E63S. Jim Quinn, Corvette Z06, 710 horse. Zach Moore, ZL1, see him right there, 172.8, 650 horse. I think somebody's sandbagging on the horsepower. I mean, I'm not saying Zach's fibbing, but I think he's fibbing. Zach with a 169.3. Jim in the Corvette Z06 coming up here, mile an hour. The 151.4. Chris Lazo in the Audi R8, 1,700 horse. That could be crazy. Garrett Van Winkle Charger, 1,100 horse. Been a best of 178.2. Audi's on a good run. Mile an hour, 183.0 for the Audi R8, 175.1 Garrett, both great mile an hour for them. Cesar Valles, love that suit. Greg Bunn and the Ninja next to him. Like Greg jumped that arm drop, just saying. Caesar wearing his leathers look like something from Evil Knievel days. Pretty cool. .172.3 Greg the jumper. Caesar coming up mile an hour. His flags are bending. It's getting a little windy. 163.4. Now we got Josh and John Kennedy in the Cobalt. Mustang getting a little slideways there. 1,100 horse to do that. He backed out of it way before the flags. Definitely going to show up in that mile an hour. Kennedy and the Cobalt stayed at it. .148.6 for the Cobalt. Josh, like I said, got out of it pretty early. 1,100 horse GT 500. Hugo Seguro, Ryan Wood, Hellcat. Hugo with a 188.3. Ryan Wood with a 158.3. Tongue twister there for sure. Julian Bossler, Mirza in the Audi R8. Already been a best of 172.5. In and out, gotta like it. 186.4 for Mirza in the Audi R8. Julian with a 173.4. Tony Williams coming up that CTS-V. See it right there. Tony Janko, GT350. That's a Fat House 1,300 horse Mustang. Been a best of 182.7. Definitely running all that ethanol. Big shout out to the Indiana Corn Marketing Council. They serve as Indiana corn farmers that help create demand and broaden the markets, opening opportunities down the road and across the globe for for Indiana's corn farmers. That's just a synopsis of how great Indiana Corn Marketing Council is. Appreciate all of that. It's David Freeman in the Roush, Luke in the ZX7 or ZX14R. Just had to add another 7 to it. Let's not forget all of our great event hosts and partners. We got Revolution and Shift Sector, 1320 Video, as stated before, Indiana Corn Marketing Council, E85 and Unleaded 88, Revolution.com, everything wrapped up, directed, and brought to you by JeffreyJHart.com. We're, of course, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Doing our Twitch Power Hour right now through Global Time Attack GTA. Shout out to my good friend Jason over there. Looking on screen, we got a couple exotic cars, AMG GTC, Chad, Marisol, and the Bentley Continental GT. A lot of GT action here. Much to many surprise, GT does not stand for Gran Turismo when it's related to the car. It's Grand Touring. Another really fast Viper coming up, Tommy Lucas, or coming up against CG Lantis in that beautiful Pontiac G8. 148.7 Chad, Marisol 135.0 in the Bentley Continental. Right now we're going to run, there it is right there, Tommy Lucas, Viper. 1800 horse. Video equipment and the parachute. Couldn't tell if he got out of it, if it was a mid-gear shift, not sure. Mile an hour coming up for Tommy. 184.2, keeps getting faster and faster. It's only a second pass so far. Now we're going to run Tony Crandall in the Rouse, CG Lantis in that beautiful Pontiac G8. That's what you see up there right now. Out the traps. Let's see, we got mile an hour for these two. Pontiac G8 for the 167.6. That's a fast G8. 133.9. Tony in the Roush. A couple BMWs right here. 335i's. Wesley and Eugene McAllister. All right, Wesley Sanders right there, 124.8. Got another fast Viper coming at 1,400 horse, bit of S at 183. Eugene McAllister, don't have that mile an hour just yet. Riley Hawk right there. He definitely didn't get out of it early that time. What's that mile an hour gonna look like? Hang on, wait for it. There you go, 202.7 miles an hour. Riley Hawk getting it done faster every single pass. First over 200 mile an hour pass for him today anyway. It's David Webster there in the Challenger Super Stock and a Mustang. I don't have on my screen, but it is flying. And I don't mean into any crowds. It's flying down the airstrip. Look good. Kenneth, that looks like Kenneth and his GT 500, 1200 horse. Just did 180.1 to Dave Webster's 144.0. Now we got Tyler McGinnity. You see right there, First Farmers Bank and Trust, and our other drone footage right there of the pits. The pits are just packed. There are so many people here. Scott Swanson in the Corvette Stingray next to him. Indiana Corn Marketing Council and First Farmers Bank and Trust teaming up here. Bring everybody all the goods at home. A couple beautiful Corvettes. Got another Viper coming back. The Bad Apple. There's the pits right there. Look how much activity's in there. Look at all those beautiful cars. A lot going on out here at the Indy Airstrip Attack. This is the fastest race in Indianapolis. Here you go. Bad Apple. Calvo's in it. He's definitely on a run. Mile an hour coming up. Last pass is 2:22. What's this one? Waiting for it to come up on my screen. Give me a second here. 219.08 miles an hour for that 3,300 horse Calvo Viper. Whew. It's Doug Merritt on a Roush. Stephen Ulrich in that ZL1 you see right there. Joining. You're catching us on Twitch through Global Time Attack GTA. Great streaming partner. Going to be live out at GTA November 10th. Definitely not going to want to miss that. Nice looking Hopkins Foundation McLaren. It's Fast Dolph, as they call him. It's Dustin and the Ninja H2 next to him. Well, it was. Because he's gone. See the shift sector flags spinning over there. It's a great... Right there, that's a great shot overall. Fast Dolph with a 170, Dustin with a 182.9. Now I got the Cadillac CTSV 1000 horse. Going up against Peter in the E63S. See the pre-grid there. I see Bad Boy Morris Malone. That is currently the third fastest car here. Rear-wheel drive only, too. Andrew in the CTSV 156.7, 150.4 for the Mercedes. Julian Bassler, Nismo, and Lamborghini. That's what's out there right now. Got the Aston Martin coming up behind them. See a lot of beautiful Corvettes, Mopars, Mustangs in the staging lane. A lot of American muscle here, but I'll tell you what, those Lamborghinis are wicked. Chris Williams in the Aston Martin. The far side there. Of course, we got a Camaro going around the outside of the Aston Martin. Audi R8 coming up. Nismo GTR. 140 for the Aston Martin. 167 for Zach in that ZL1. Got some kids out there doing the arm drop. Zach Elliott in the Mustang. Ryan Hopkins in that Lamborghini. It's great to see the kids out there enjoying themselves with the arm drop.
I'm here with Morris Malone himself, the legend around the track. Tell me, how's the day going so far for you, Morris?
Real good this morning so far. Weather's good. We went out, just did our first pass. It was our fastest pass of the weekend so far. We did a 2:41.2 something, I think. But what was kind of hot and traction wasn't there on the track yesterday. So dialing the car in, making little tweaks here and there, and getting everything sorted out on it.
What kind of tweaks did you have to do last night?
We had to change the tune a little bit. We had to take a little power off the big end. We added some in the middle and played around with the traction control a little bit. We raised the wing and made some little tweaks to the aero, try and help out a little bit.
And what's the realistic goal for you this weekend?
I think we can do 245 out here, and that'd be the rear-wheel drive record overall record for rear-wheel drive in half mile. So that's what we're shooting for.
Okay, well, good luck to you. I think you're a shoo-in for it, so can't wait to see what you do out there.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got Kurt in that Fairlane, Brad in the Audi S6. On mile an hour all weekend long. $142 for the Audi S6, $146 for the Fairlane. Brennan, do a little Challenger Ryan Wood Hellcat, 937 horsepower in the Hellcat. You can see our beautiful venue here. Lots and lots of people, lots of cars, lots of activity just in general. Got a little traction issue in the Hellcat. Looks like he activated all 900 horse at the same time. Still going to make it up, go all the way around the outside. Gotta like that. Blazed the tires around the outside. 155.4 for Ryan in the Hellcat. Brennan with a 128.8. Kent Seckler in the ZX10. Andrew Weidel in the Z06. Look at that great shot going down the runway. Can't beat it. Holding his own there in that Kawasaki. Going around the outside right now of the Z06. .153.3 Kent, Andrew 156.2 in the Z06. Juan Fernandez, full pass, 197.7 best, 1500 horse Porsche. Going up against Scott in the Audi R8, been a best of 155.4. How's that going to play out? Well, we're going to find out. Going to let the Audi go first. So here comes the Audi. Scott McIntosh. Mile an hour for him. 152.2. Juan Fernandez next. Here we go. 1,500 horse in this Porsche. Been a best of 197 this event. I think I've called over 200 for him in the past. Juan Fernandez. Look at that beat. Tuned though, if you're watching GTA through Twitch, Global Time Attack, I got bad boy Morris Malone in the queue. Jeff Barton with a 174.2. Dave Webster coming up. There's bad boy Morris Malone right there, your fastest Corvette, almost the fastest half-mile rear-wheel drive car on the launch pad. Alerted fire and safety in tow. You never know. Definitely on a fast pass. What is his mile an hour gonna show that time around? I know he's looking for 245. Been a 241. What's it gonna be? .237.22 miles an hour for bad boy Morris Malone. That pass. Keep sneaking up on it like that. That is pretty good. 1.7. It's Anthony Rodman there in the GT350R. Looks like Rachel Sweet slowed down. It appears as though something fell off on the backside of the car too. Not sure. I would probably make sure we get to take a look at that. Looked like something blew about 3/4 of the way down, flew off the back of her car. unusual. She's been real consistent, so hopefully everything's okay. Anthony, though, in that GT350R with a 173.9. They're definitely going to be looking for something about 3/4 of the way track down. Blue. It looks like it fell off the back of the car. Unsure what it is. Ooh.
I'm here with Kelly. He's part of our stick shift division. Tell me, how'd that second run of the day go for you?
It went good. So my first run, I did 170. Second run out, I just did 174. But I hit the red line before the end, hit the rev limiter before the end of the finish line. So we got to either bump it up a little bit more or put bigger wheels and tires on it, which I brought. But my goal is to hit 180 in the car.
All right, well, I want to hear about this LS swap.
Yeah, sure. So it's a 93 RX-7. And as you all know, they usually come with a rotary engine. This is now a 5.3 LS engine. So it's a single turbo, 78 millimeter turbo, and it's a T56 Magnum setup. And then it's got the Granus 8.8 rear end in it.
Nice. Well, it is beautiful. You can tell you've put a lot of hard work and love into it.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what you do this weekend. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Always appreciate all the efforts from the shift sector crew, keeping everybody safe. See the Corvette there. If you're at home, you can see that beautiful Z06. Saw that in the parking lot this morning. I think I might have chatted with those guys in the elevator at the hotel. They brought a few Corvettes. That's one of them. That's always a good time. Of course, big shout out to my good friends at the Indiana Corn Marketing Council. We're hosting the United States Grains Council special guests from Latin America, so that's pretty cool. Thanks to all of them being here. Shout out to 1320 Video for our streaming partners, and of course Global Time Attack GTA. Find all of that on Twitch. Great streaming partners. Appreciate all their support. So we got Keith Richards in the Z06, Peter in the E63S AMG. Just about got the clearance to go again. Go green. Speaking of green, your best option for fuel, E85 base, corn base fuel. Over 65% of the vehicles running today are running some form of E85 ethanol, likely from Indiana. Brought to you, of course, by the Indiana Corn Marketing Council. Can't thank them enough. Peter with a 148. Keith with a 150.2. Got Matthew Moberly and Jack Bain in the Mustang. Get a little breezy out here. Jack Bain, 850 horse Mustang. You know he's running that good E85. 175.7 Jack, Matthew in the red eye. Have it coming up here. I got a couple Lambos, got the Aventador. Go to Precision and the Lamborghini Super Leggera. 221 Precision's been with 2,000 horse. Aiden's been 157. On a boil right there. Dallas Performance. That looked like a great pass. Wonder what the Aventador driver thought. 216.2 Precision. 146.5 for the Aventador. Kurt in the Fairlane, Mike in the Malibu. That's a great race right here. A couple old school guys getting it done. Mike, a local guy, Wounded Warrior Project. Kurt with the jump, but I don't think it's going to help. way around the fair lane. Kurt with the 144.4. Mike in the Malibu 172.4. Andrew Wydell, Dave Webster in the Challenger. Andrew in the Z06. Looks like Lena with the arm drop. One of our grid girls. Corvette round the outside. I mean, what's not to like about better performance? Cleaner air and obviously a lower cost. Get all that when you fill up at Unleaded 88. Visit getbiofuel.com. Unleaded 88, engine smart, earth kind. Best things you can do for performance. And it's just good stuff. Williams in the CTSV, Brennan in the Challenger. Tony was trying to set a land speed record. He was on the back of the headlight there, gas pedal anyway, clear past the traps. 168.1, Brennan with a 129.8. Chris Morell in a Hayabusa there, beautiful looking bike. Pass, 400 horse, lots of wind. Looks strong to me. Well, I guess it's not a solo pass. I let somebody sneak out. I just didn't see him. The Busa left so hard. Let's see what it was. That was Kent Seckler in the ZX10 with a 154. 189.3. Charles in the Busa, though. Great view of our pits. You can see all the action kind of going on down there. A lot of cars, a lot of people, all the easy ups out there on the access road. Just a lot going on. Kudos to our drone operators who are operating the drones in that much wind. You see our flag spinning over. Shout out to revolution.com for making that happen. Got James Richardson in the Hellcat, Trevor in the GT500. Richardson in the Red Eye Hellcat with a pretty good mile an hour there. Trevor, GT500, kind of pulling up the backside. So he definitely took it in the shorts on that run, mile an hour wise. Got another Huracan coming up against an Audi R8. James in the Hellcat, 162.6, 150 for the GT500. Colin in the the Huracan. Kenneth in the R8. Love that drone footage of all of our Kenneth with a 146.9 in the Audi R8. Here comes Colin. $201 for another 201. 201.97 that time around for Colin. Got Glenn in that Jaguar F-Pace Indiana Corn Marketing Council SUV, hauling all the people. I got Alina out here doing jumps for the Indiana Corn Marketing Council. It's a tradition, got to do it. $112.9 for the Indiana Corn Marketing Council Jaguar F-Pace. Taylor coming up, Ron Vale in the GT500. See him right there on the starting line. Got the Taylor in the Corvette, 1,000 horse. GT350, 624 horse. Could be interesting. See how this plays out. Exactly sure how that played out. I saw something a little different on the starting line, yet here we are. So that's a fast Viper, I will say that. Mustang kind of following up the backside in that beautiful GT350. 195.4 for the Viper Taylor there. It just registered under a Mustang, not sure. Ron in the GT350. Oh, we're all having a good time out here. Wish you were here wish you were here in person, but I'm glad you're joining us live. There you go. There's the pits. Lots of exotic cars. A lot of cars well over 1,000, some into the 3,000 horsepower range. 65% of them running E85 ethanol content based. Ed Myers, Audi R8, John in the McLaren 720S coming up. That's Lena getting ready to arm drop. Every shift sector Indy Airstrip attack race starts with an arm drop from one of the grid girls. $174 for John and that McLaren 720S, 174.8 to be exact, 148.7 for the Audi R8. Got Brian Priest coming up and that ZL1, Stephen Ulrich and the ZL1 next to him. One's got to shoot, one doesn't. 1,300 horse for Brian, 924 for Stephen. Brian's definitely been faster. Pretty good Camaro run, 176.6. Brian in that ZL1. Steven don't have his mile an hour yet. I got Kristen Doka in that beautiful Porsche Turbo S, 1,400 horse, been a best of 206 already. Gonna make another solo hit here. Look at that beast. Might be waiting for a Mustang on the other side. I'm not sure how they got it registered and in. Preston on another great pass, mile an hour coming up. .206.04, another over 200 mile an hour pass. Jeffrey coming up in the Corvette, 885 horse, but a best of 137.2. Jason in the Mustang, 1,000 horse, don't have a mile an hour yet, but we're going to. Mustang's on a good pass. The smell of that sweet, sweet E85 in the air. 158 for Jason, 158.4 for for Jeffrey in the Corvette. Pretty close. Anthony Rodman, GT350R. Matthew Moberly in that Challenger Hellcat Red Eye. You see it right there. In this GT350. Looks like he's going to try to use all of them. Mile an hour coming up 168.2. Been a best at 179, so definitely kind of sneaking up on something. Mandy King right there on the launch pad. Sorry about that. We're back here. Just saw Aiden O'Neill in that beautiful Aventador of the 157. It's Dave Webster in that Challenger Super Stock. Gets that Camaro there. I have a Hayabusa coming up against a Supra coming up here in a second. See it right there. It's Charles Morel and Julian Bassler's Supra. Good run, another good run for Charles. 400 horse in that beast. $191.7 that time for Charles. 110 for the Supra. Must have got out of it early. Brendan Doolittle going up against Marisol in the Continental GT. Fast Porsche coming up, Dave Briggs, right after this. Hopefully you're following us on our good streaming partners, 1320video.com, of course, Global Time Attack, GTA. Going to be live there November 10th, don't forget that. Marisol with a 134. We got Dave Briggs coming up here. Beautiful Porsche Turbo. Porsche makes all the jam. Sounds like it got out of it a little early too. It also sounded a little traction related, but mile an hour will show us what's up there. All 1,400 horse of it. $193.4. David last pass there. John Conway coming up. Trevor Zipper, GT500. Definitely head over to Casey's, fill up on lead at 88 or E85 at your local Casey's and grab a delicious slice of pizza, an ice cold beverage while you're there. I did some shopping there this morning, actually. Casey's is a great supporter of biofuels and this event, so thank you, Casey's. Julian Bassler, Nismo, Julian Bassler, Lamborghini. Find them over in the P&L Motorsports camp. Always good having Julian out here and his nice car collection. Brings out some of the nicest cars. Nicest guy you'd probably ever meet, too. Just saying. John Kennedy, that Cobalt, that thing's flying. 500 horse, been best in 148.6. Jason Burrow Hellcat right there. See Lena getting them all lined up. There's that beautiful blue Hellcat. Fastest Cobalts I think I've ever called. Jason and the Hellcat 163.4, that's flying too. John Kennedy and the Cobalt, you can see the flags bending over there, it's pretty crazy. right now with the wind. It's kind of sort of been pretty standard. Like, it hasn't really let up. It's been about the same. 49.7 John. Looks like Juan Fernandez still fighting the blues. He keeps turning off early. I'm not sure what's up. John and Alec in that 720S McLaren went ripping by, though. John hasn't been able to make well, he made one pass, a 197.7, I should say. Right off the trailer, no less, so it's still running, just not sure what's wrong with it. John with a 173.8. Matthew Ober coming up. Well, that's definitely not Armando's M5. He must have brought another BMW. It looks like he's racing the tow rig. Hard to say. Matthew, though, with a 143.7. Armando in that BMW with a 143.6 SUV. Ron Vale coming up in that Ford GT350. Craig Kaiser in a GT500. See him right there on the starting line. So Craig with a 150.55, Ron with the GT 500. Sure how this is registered, but it is definitely a Viper and an Audi R8. That was Audi R8 148 too, Jeff. In that Baldus in that Porsche Turbo S, Nikolai in the Hellcat, 1,000 horse in the Porsche Turbo S. And best of one, oh, there he goes, 179.5, gained a lot of mile an hour on that pass. All right, it's lunchtime out here in beautiful Marion, Indiana. Appreciate everybody joining us. We're going to take a quick 30-minute break while all of us eat and refuel. That way we bring you the best that there is in half-mile racing. Of course, we're brought to you by Indiana Corn Marketing Council, and appreciate all of our partners, 1320video.com, Global Time Attack, Twitch, and we will be back in less than 30 minutes. So you don't want to go anywhere. We got the finals coming up, semifinals right before that, and a lot of fast cars. We'll see you real soon.